Good morning students. I am Dr. Tripti Gupta from Shivjyoti Education Group Kota. So welcome to the English class students. Today we are going to take up the book Footprint and chapter number 8, The Hack Driver, which is written by Sinclair Lewis. So students, before moving to the chapter, let us look about some information about our author Sinclair Lewis. Students, Sinclair Lewis was born in 1885 in Sauk Center, Minnesota and graduated from Yale University in 1808. His college career was interrupted by various part-time occupations, including a period working at Helicon Home Colony, Upton Sinclair's socialist experiment in New Jersey. Here he worked for some years as a freelance editor and journalist, during which time he published several minor novels, but with the publication of Main Street in 1920, which sold 500,000 copies, he achieved wide recognition. This was followed by two novels considered by many to be his finest, Babbitt in 1922 and Arrowsmith in 1925, which was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1926 but declined by Lewis. In 1930, following Elmer Gentry in 1927 and Dodsworth in 1929, Sinclair Lewis became the first American author to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Distinction in World Literature. So, this was about our author Sinclair Lewis. Now, students, let us move to our chapter. So, now let us move to our chapter here. This story is of a young lawyer who comes to a village to serve summons to Oliver Luytkens. Now, a friendly hack driver takes him round the village in search of Luytkens. Does he find him, or who is Luytkens? Now, these are the two questions, these are the two mysteries which will unfold with this story as we will move on. Now, after graduating with honors, I became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. I was sent not to prepare legal briefs, but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. So, here our author who has been a lawyer, and the very first during his internship he joined a law firm which was a very renowned one, and when he started his career, he started it as a person who was required to deliver the summons to the various people who were being called at the court. So, he started this work which was not up to his level. He considered it a low level job, but he started with that. Okay. So, I had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out my victims. Some of the larger or more self-confident ones even beat me up. I hated this unpleasant work and the side of city life it revealed to me. So, we can understand that he disliked the nature of his job, because at times he was been dealing with such a kind of people who were being at times they were being rude, they used to mistreat him, and he was being ill treated by those people. Now, that was been a quite unpleasant aspect of his profile. Now, I even considered fleeing to my hometown, where I could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training period. So, that is what the second thought which came to his mind, to just quit the training period and he can go back to his hometown and take on his lawyer career over there, but he did not, basically he did not quit the job and he carried it forward. So I rejoiced one day when they sent me out 40 miles in the country to a town called New Mullion to serve summon on a man called Oliver Lutkins. So here is our protagonist, where there are basically two lead characters here in this story. One is our young lawyer and another is Oliver Lutkins. Now, we needed this man as a witness in a law case and he had ignored all our letters. So, he was required to go to a town, that is New Mullion, where he was required to serve a summon on Oliver Lutkins. So, Oliver Lutkins was required in a particular case as a witness in the court. Okay. So, when I got to New Mullion, my eager expectations of a sweet simple country village were severely disappointed. Its streets were river of mud with rows of wooden shops, either painted a sour brown or bare of any paint at all. So, he was been expecting the countryside to be very beautiful, picturesque landscapes would be there. So, all that imagination of his was actually diminished. They got like it was all being crashed just because he found that particular place to be very dull, and it was the streets were being odd looking, they full of filth and mud, and the shops were also not being very nicely painted. So, he did not find that place to be enough attractive as he was been expecting it to be. Okay. So, the only agreeable side about the place was the delivery man at the station. He was about 40, red faced, cheerful and thick about the middle. His working clothes were dirty, well worn, and he had a friendly manner. You felt at once that he liked people. So, very at the station, when he got down from the train, he found a delivery man over there, and the way his physique was, he was a bit fat kind of person, like maybe you can resemble it to me. Okay. So, his clothes were, he was wearing very kind of clothes, and they were dirty also, but he was quite friendly in his mannerism. Okay. And that is why he felt, or the young lawyer, he felt that probably this man is a person who is who likes to meet new people, and he was quite frank, okay, in his nature. So, that was how he found this delivery man. Okay. So, now he addresses, I told him to find a man named Oliver Lutkins. So, now he revealed his purpose over there. He asked for that he is in search of Oliver Lutkins. Now, with this, Lutkins, I saw him around here about an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch though, always up to something or other. Now, this was, now here that delivery man, he was been telling him about that he had seen Lutkin somewhere around an hour before, and now he was been saying that it is quite difficult to catch this man because he is quite clever. He is probably tried to start up a poker game in the back of its shop. I will tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins? So, he was been asking that, are you in a hurry, or what's exactly is your schedule, and if you are not in a hurry, I can take you to the Fitz shop, which is actually where he has left that place for playing the poker game over there. Okay. So, yes, I want to catch the afternoon train back to the city. I was very important and secret about it. So, he just mentioned that he need to go back. I will tell you what, I have got a hack, I will get it out and you can drive around together and we can drive around together and find Lutyens. I know most of the places he hangs out. So now here that delivery man, he offers he was quite generous in offering help and he offers a help to our young lawyer that you can go over and you can just hire this hack and I can take you to the various places where we expect Lutyens can be found. Okay. So with this offer, he was so open and friendly that I glowed with the warmth of his affection. I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. I was glad the fair money would go to this good fellow. I managed to bargain down to $2 an hour and then he brought from his house nearby a sort of large black box on wheel. So finally, there was our young lawyer, he agreed to that help and he finally agreed for that he will pay $2 for an hour and the delivery man, he will take him around to the wherever possible places are where they can find Lutyens. Okay, so he brought a big carriage which was actually like a large black box mounted on a wheels. He remarked, "Well, young man, here's the carriage," and his wide smile made me into an old friend. These villagers are so ready to help a stranger. He had already made it his own task to find Oliver Lutyens for me. So now this young lawyer was quite impressed by the generosity and the way he was being helpful, and that's what he was been praising and he was been admiring about the villagers, that see, this person is really, he has taken my task to find Oliver Lutyens to be his own, and now he is so kind to him and he is so helpful and very eager to take on various efforts, to put on these efforts to help him. Now with this nice gesture, so finally the young lawyer, he said, the delivery man, he said, "I don't want to interfere, young fellow, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutyens. He never pays anybody a cent. He still owes me 50 cents on a poker game I was full." So basically he started a conversation here and he was been just asking that, okay, I understand that there are many people from whom he had borrowed money, but up till now there was no one who could have taken that money back from him. But in that case, even he himself is owing 50 cents, but he has been unable to get that money back from Lutyens. So he is a tough man basically. So he was just trying to make him understand how Oliver Lutyens is there, and if you have come back here to take your money, then it will be a difficult task. Enough to play with him. He is not really bad, but it's hard to make him part with his money. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he will be suspicious and get away from you. If you want, I will go to Fritz and ask for him, and you can keep out of sight behind me. So now he came out with a suggestion that since you are being so well dressed and you are probably you will be very easily being recognized and he will be out of suspicion, he may just run away from the place. So it would be better that if I would go to the that shop, Fritz shop, and I will inquire about him, and later on you can come over to me and you can keep hiding over there behind me. So, this suggestion was being given by the delivery man. Well, we will give Brother Lutkins a little surprise. So, finally, let us start, driver. Most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson, Fancy Carting and Hacking. So, he just introduced himself as Bill. All right, Bill, shall we proceed to Fritz? Yes, Lutkins is just as likely to be there as anywhere. Plays a lot of poker. He is good at deceiving people. Bill seemed to admire Lutkins' talent for dishonesty. I felt that if he had been a policeman, he would have caught Lutkins respectfully and jailed him with regret. Now, the way Bill was been telling about, describing about Lutkins, that he was a tough man and he was like he used to cheat people and he used to deceive people. He is very good. He has a great talent of deceiving other people. So, that is what the young lawyer felt about it, that he was the probably if he would have been a policeman, he would easily would be able to catch Oliver Lutkins. But it was not like that. Okay, so he was quite impressed the way he knew Oliver Lutkins. Bill led me to Fritz. Have you seen Oliver Lutkins around today? Friend of his looking for him, said Bill cheerily. So, finally, Bill went over there to Fred's shop and he inquired about the Lutkins' presence, whether he was been there, is he been inside the shop. One of his friends, he has come to meet him. Fritz looked at me hiding behind Bill. He hesitated and then admitted, yes, he was in here a little while ago. Guess he has gone over the Gustavs to get a shave. Now, he just revealed another aspect, came out with an information that he has very a little while ago, just few few time back, he left this place and he has gone to the barber shop, that is Gustav's shop, where he had gone to take a shave. Now, with this he just came out, well, if he comes in, tell him I am looking for him. So, he just makes a remark that you just let him know that I was here and I was searching for you. Okay. We drove to Gustav's barber shop. Again Bill went in first and I lingered at the door. He asked not only the Swede but two customers if they had seen Lutkins. The Swede had not. He said angrily, I haven't seen him and don't care to. But if you find him, can just collect that $35 he owes me. One of the customers thought he had seen Lutkins walking down Main Street, this side of the hotel. So, finally he came out, the barber, he was been in a very angry mood, he was been sharing that he had not seen Lutkin, but one of the customers over there, he just revealed that he had seen him walking towards the hotel. So, that with this information he moved further. As we climbed back into the hack, Bill concluded that since Lutkins had exhausted his credit at Gustav's, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. At Gray's barber shop, he missed Lutkins by only 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. At the pool room, it appeared that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. So, we pursued him just behind him, but never catching him for an hour till it was past 1 o'clock. I was hungry but I had so enjoyed Bill's rough county opinions about his neighbors that I scarcely cared whether I found Lutkin or not. So finally they were been following the path and they were meeting the various people from Gustav's shop. They went to Gray's barber shop and there they found that Lutkin had just left 5 minutes back, and from there they went to the pool room, and at pool room also they found that he had just purchased cigarettes and he had gone. Now they were been following Lutkin over there and still they were unable to catch him, and they were been moving like that following him for last 1 hour. Okay, and now it was somewhere around 1 o'clock and he was been feeling quite hungry. That's why he was been, rather than bothering about Lutkins, he was been just enjoying the companionship of Bill, that was the his delivery man, his hack driver. Okay, so with him he finally went ahead to share, go ahead for a lunch.